The Locked Room Mystery, a tale of prohibition and the supernatural. Welcome back to Mystic Echoes. Today, I'm going to take you back to the roaring 1920s, a time of jazz, speakeasies, and prohibition in New York City. But beneath the glitz and glamour, there were shadows, dark corners where secrets festered and horrors lurked. This is the story of a locked room mystery that shook the city to its core. It all began on a cold, rainy night in December 1923, in a dimly lit apartment on the Upper West Side. The victim? A well-known writer named Mr. Arthur Langley, who specialized in crafting chilling tales of the supernatural. When the police arrived at the scene, they found Mr. Langley slumped over his desk, a dagger plunged deep into his chest. The door was bolted from the inside, the windows sealed shut. No signs of forced entry, no witnesses. So who or what killed Arthur Langley? But this wasn't just a murder case. It was the beginning of something far more sinister, a mystery that would unravel the dark secrets of the past and leave the city trembling in fear. To understand this case, we must delve into the life of Arthur Langley. He was a recluse, rarely seen outside his apartment except for occasional visits to speakeasies or the library. His neighbors described him as a quiet man, but one who always seemed haunted, as if he carried a burden too heavy for any soul to bear. In the room where he was found dead, detectives discovered an open journal on his desk. On the final page, scrawled in frantic handwriting, were the words, "It has returned." But what had returned? And why was Arthur so terrified? Further investigation revealed a faded photograph tucked away in his desk drawer. The photo showed Arthur alongside 4 other men, all dressed in suits typical of the 1920s. On the back of the photo, written in shaky handwriting, were the words, "Never forget the pact." This was the first clue that led investigators down a dark and twisted path. Through interviews with surviving members of the group, detectives uncovered a chilling secret. Decades earlier, these 5 men had performed a séance in an attempt to contact the spirit world. They believed they had summoned a malevolent entity, but things quickly spiraled out of control. One of them, a man named Thomas, vanished without a trace that very night. From that moment on, the remaining members lived in constant fear, plagued by nightmares and unexplainable occurrences. But the horrors didn't end there. After Thomas's disappearance, the others began experiencing terrifying visions. Some claimed to see a shadowy figure standing at the foot of their beds, while others heard disembodied laughter echoing through empty halls. One member even took his own life, unable to endure the torment any longer. Back in the present, detectives noticed something strange on the wall of Arthur's apartment, a small handprint smeared in blood, as if left by a child. What could it mean? Was this the work of a human killer, or something far more sinister? As the investigation continued, it became clear that Arthur's death was not the act of a mortal being. His journal, filled with cryptic entries and sketches of strange symbols, suggested that he had been dabbling in the occult once again. Perhaps, in his arrogance, he had reopened the door to the very entity they had tried to banish all those years ago. After the case was officially closed, strange events began to plague the neighborhood. Neighbors reported hearing faint cries coming from the sealed apartment. A few curious souls ventured close, only to flee in terror after seeing a shadowy figure moving behind the curtains. The building was eventually condemned, but the rumors persisted. Was the evil truly contained? Or had it merely bided its time, waiting for its next victim? Weeks later, one of the detectives involved in the case began experiencing vivid nightmares. In his dreams, he saw a shadowy figure standing beside his bed, whispering in a voice that chilled him to the bone, "Your turn is next." Were the remaining members of the group doomed to suffer the same fate as Arthur? Or was this the beginning of a new cycle of horror? But the story doesn't end there. A week later, the detective was found dead in his apartment. He was seated in his armchair, his face frozen in an expression of sheer terror. On the wall, written in blood, were the words, "The curse is not finished." So who or what killed Arthur Langley? Was it the work of a vengeful spirit, or the result of a curse unleashed by forbidden rituals? Leave your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale of mystery and the supernatural, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling stories from history's darkest corners. Until next time.